How's it going, guys? Foul Plays here, and today we're going to be talking about what anime you should be watching for the summer 2022 anime season. Now, of course, we had an amazing spring season with the likes of Spy Family, and then, of course, Love After World Domination, and then lastly, Shikamori-san, and a bunch of other anime as well. But I think that the contenders for summer 2022 are really good. But before we get into anything, go ahead and smash that like button down below, and don't forget to click subscribe with notifications on so you don't miss out on any future uploads. And without further ado, let's get right into the list. So first of all, I just want to give a big shout out to Eden Zero. Apparently Mashima has made an amazing game. I definitely want to play it. If y'all want to see me play it on live stream, I definitely will. Now, first on the list is Devil is a Part-Timer. Now, if you are a big fan of Devil is a Part-Timer like I am, you know how hyped everybody is in the anime community about this. So this anime is exactly as it is made out to be. It is a devil from another universe who ends up getting a part-time job in this world being our world. It's a reverse isekai, if you understand of what the reverse isekai term is. It is pretty much just an isekai, but instead of going to another world, it's coming to our world. The world is known to us, so we just have to basically rely on comedy, which this series is phenomenally known for being. But this starts on July 14th, and it is definitely on my must-watch list, at least for myself. And what's really concerning for me, though, is the studio change. So I don't know how they're going to handle the studio change. Maybe the studio is going to be God tier, maybe they're not. But let's go ahead, let's check it out, let's see what the studio is. So based off of what I'm looking at here, the studio is actually pretty good with having the likes of Sword Art Online Alternative. I mean, that series was God tier made, so I definitely have a bunch of faith in this anime studio. But next up on the list is, of course, Rent-A-Girlfriend. I'm gonna be honest, I don't like where the manga is going, but hopefully the anime can give it justice. The plot of Rent-A-Girlfriend is this guy, he rents a girlfriend, but he ends up basically, like, I guess, fucking himself over and telling his whole family that she's his real girlfriend, but she's not, and then they actually end up falling for each other, but they don't want to tell each other that they like each other. So yeah, it's basically like I guess it's a harem. Yeah, it's a harem. And pretty much this is going to be premiering on July 2nd. I personally really hope that they do the main character some justice. I really want to see him get better. The girls are really the main stars of the show for me for this anime. So I'm really hoping that Kazuya, or whatever the fuck his name is, get some good rep for the next couple of episodes of this season. Next up on the list is Overlord. I personally have never seen Overlord. I've heard a lot of good things about Overlord, but I've never actually wanted to get into it. It seems like the basic isekai, but I've heard it has a little bit of a twist. But I'm not the biggest fan of isekai, but if you enjoy Overlord, it does start on July 5th, and it's being done by the same studio, which is Madhouse, who actually did Hunter x Hunter, if I'm correct. So yeah, Overlord. Now, next up on here is Made in Abyss, and I'm gonna be honest, Made in Abyss actually won an Anime of the Year award in, I believe it was 2018. So this is definitely gonna be on a lot of people's watch list, and I personally have not seen it just because I haven't had time to sit down and watch Made in Abyss, but I definitely do want to get into it. So I will probably try to watch this or watch the anime before we actually get into this new season. I have a lot of free time on my hands right now, so I'll try to get into it before the anime premieres on July 6th. So hopefully this anime does do well this season. Maybe we'll have another contender for Anime of the Year. So you never know. Now, I'm going to be honest, the next anime on here is one that I just don't see the point in anybody continuing. It's, Is It Wrong to Pick Up a Girl in a Dungeon? Now, when this came out, it was the talk of the internet. It was something that everybody was talking about. Nowadays, it just feels like it drops and then, like, the fan base goes wild, but it never really gets any conversation going. So, I mean, it does start at around July 23rd. So it's going to be a little bit later into the anime season, but I really don't see myself watching it alongside a bunch of other people. I just don't see the point in continuing it. I heard that they also wrapped up a bunch of the plot very well, so it really just didn't need to be finished. So but this is all what I've been hearing. But next up on the list is Classroom of the Elites. And I'm going to be honest, this was one of the anime that I really got into when it was coming out in the first place. But I just got so distracted with a bunch of other shit at the time. I definitely do need to get back into this anime before it does come out in the next coming days. Pretty much the whole idea of the series is the whole class is basically graded between the whole entire, I guess, student body, and based off of their test scores, I think they get like a certain amount of allowance, and basically they have to work for their allowance. But for like the first month or so, they just like get free shit. They waste their money on just random shit. But it's definitely one of the anime that I really want to watch this season. I'll probably end up watching it if I get caught up to in time. This does premiere on July 4th, so a Happy America Day. Up next is Call of the Night. Now, Call of the Night is one of those anime that's going to be like the My Dress Up Darling of this anime season, and personally I really want to get into this series. It's going to basically be about a vampire girl, and she like goes and kidnaps this guy or some shit. I don't know exactly the plot, but I really want to watch this. It definitely does seem like it's going to be a little bit more mature for the anime watchers, so definitely if you're like around 15, 16, be wary with it. But it does start on July 8th. I really want to watch this, and I don't know the anime studio that it's behind. Let's go and check it out. Oh, yo, it's the same studio who did freaking Tokyo Revengers and Yamada-kun. Oh, this is gonna be a good freaking anime. And they did Cells at Work Black. I really want to give it the benefit of the doubt and say that it's going to be a pretty damn good anime for the season. So definitely a must watch for this season. But up next we have My Stepmom's Daughter is My Ex. I'm still trying to process what the fuck this is going to be about. So what I'm guessing is they like were together at one point, and then like their parents got married and now they live together. I'm guessing. I don't want to explore the topic of that. I mean, I don't like Domestic Girlfriend for a reason, but apparently this is going to be Domestic Girlfriend Part 2. But up next we have My Isekai Life. Do I have to even continue this one? It's another isekai anime, and it looks like it's going to be the generic isekai. I mean, maybe it's going to make fun of isekais like Konosuba. We don't know. I don't think anybody can match the hilarity of Konosuba, so I'll give this a watch, see if it actually makes fun of the isekai motif. But if it doesn't, I probably will not continue it. I don't like isekai that much. So up next we have another isekai, but this isekai actually looks kind of interesting. I like the art style for it, so I'll probably end up watching this. It's called Harem in the Labyrinth of Another World, and this comes out on July 6th. It looks like it's gonna be an ecchi. Yo, that makes it 10 times better. But again, this is just looks a lot nicer than all the other isekais of the main season. So I'll probably end up giving this a watch as well. So up next we have Verminal and Gold. I don't really know how I feel about this anime. It just seems like another magical type of anime, just another like demon school type of deal. I don't know if it's gonna be like that, but just based off of the picture, it just looks like another school type of setting where they're learning about how to use magic. I really don't know. I probably will give it a watch, maybe a couple of episodes. But it comes out on July 5th, so if you get drunk from July 4th, you know, you could of course go and watch this anime that day as well. But up next we have, coming from Studio Shaft, RWBY. And I've heard a lot of good things. I've heard a lot of mixed feelings about this anime. I heard that RWBY has been kind of rushed. The first couple of episodes just ran through volume 1 really quickly, so I've heard some mixed feelings about it, but by what I've heard, the animation is crisp and amazing, so I will probably give this version of RWBY a chance. I personally just could not get into RWBY from the webcomic, so hopefully this anime does really well, and it gets some good traction going, because Studio Shaft, I believe, is a really good studio, so I will definitely give this a watch. So up next is the maid I hired recently is Mysterious. Now, when I saw this, I thought it was going to be like the My Dress Up Darling the season. It ends up, it's not. It's going to be, I guess, a kind of a comedy series for everybody. Basically, she just does some weird shit and then just becomes like a weird person. And he's like trying to, I guess, like catch her in the act type of deal. So I probably will give it a watch to see what it's about and all of that. But I probably will not watch this anime. But in case you are interested in it, it's going to be coming out on July 24th. And hopefully it does pretty damn well. Up next, we have the Yakuza's Guide to Babysitting. And I'm going to be honest, this actually seems like it will be kind of funny. It's going to be kind of like a wholesome series. Kind of like how Love After World Domination was kind of wholesome. So I'm really, really hoping that this does well. I'll probably give it a good couple of episodes to see if it's actually going to be good. Definitely going to be something that I want to watch just because of the premise. It seems like it's just going to be like him having so much bullshit happen, especially because he's going to be a part of the Yakuza. It's definitely going to have a lot of humor in it that I will definitely enjoy. It does come out a little bit after the 4th of July, so it comes out on July 7th for you guys. And hopefully it will turn out really, really well. So up next is Tokyo Mew Mew New. I personally will not be watching this, but I know that a lot of people are going to be watching Tokyo Mew Mew. I know that a lot of people watched it as a kid and they loved it, but I didn't grow up on Tokyo Mew Mew. So yeah, it's something. I mean, if you're like into that, go for it, but I'm not into it. So yeah. Up next, we have a bunch of other anime just over here. Nothing really looks cool except for the Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer. This seems actually kind of cool just based off of the artwork, but you know, you can never base an anime off of its cover. But it just seems like the basic anime, a seinen anime where it's just going to be more mature. I'll definitely try to give it a watch and see if it's actually anything good. Pretty much it's like this girl tries to take revenge type of shit. That's basically what I got from the trailer. I don't really know exactly what the trailer said, but it looks interesting nonetheless. Lucifer and the Biscuit, it comes out on July 9th, and I will probably give it a watch. Let's check out the studio that it's from. So they already have a bunch of good names under their belt with My Girlfriend is Gal. I love that anime. I love the dub for it. And then they also had Sabuki Bisco, which Sabuki Bisco already had amazing animation. Just the plot was a little bit underwhelming, but it did have a big cult following whenever it did come out. And then of course they had Captain Tsubasa and all of that as well. But up next we have the anime, I'm not even gonna try to pronounce it, Mask of Truth. And the reason why I really want to check this out is just because of the studio that is doing it. And I love the studio that's doing it. It's White Fox, and if you know White Fox, they're known for the likes of ReZero, and ReZero always looked gorgeous. And just based off of this imagery that we're seeing on the cover, I really, really want to give this a shot. I don't really know what it's about. I think it's just going to be about like a couple trying to take down this person in the image, but hopefully it turns out to be great, and I hope it is. But up next we have Orient, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, Orient Season 1 was a huge letdown for me. I just did not enjoy Orient Season 1. It was a big letdown for Magi fans, and it was a big letdown for fans that were actually interested in checking it out. There was no point to actually want to watch the series. I know it did have a big following due to who it actually was made by, and the fact that it's set in the same world as Maggie, but it did not do Maggie justice. But in case you are wanting to watch this anime, it is going to be coming out on July 12th. So a little bit farther into the anime season, but nonetheless, it's still going to be in the anime season for sure. But up next, we have Futo Tante. And I'm going to be honest, as a Kamen Rider fan that just finished Kamen Rider Double, I am excited about this series. So pretty much this series is going to take place right after the events that happened in Kamen Rider Double, and as a Kamen Rider fan, you definitely want to check it out. Go check out Kamen Rider Double before you even touch this series though. So if you don't actually know what Kamen Rider is, it is pretty much Super Sentai but only one person. And if you don't know what Super Sentai is, it's Power Rangers. So it's literally Power Rangers but one person. It's just an amazing story. Go check out Kamen Rider Double. One of the best series I've watched in a while. You guys want to know where to watch it? There's no way to legally watch it. Take that and do what you must do to watch it. But this comes out actually later on into the season, and it is coming out in August 1st, and that is very, very far into the anime season. I'm actually shocked that it's coming out that late. Like, that's a whole month away. But it's being done by a new studio who is Studio Kai. And Studio Kai has only done like 1 or 2 anime, and they really didn't do well. But based off the trailer that we saw, I feel like this is going to be doing Kamen Rider a huge justice. But as I'm looking down through the series, the only one that I can actually see that is actually worth something to look at is the Prince of Tennis. And I'm not a big Prince of Tennis guy, so I'm not really seeing anything else that looks anything of interest to me until we get to the original Netflix animation, which we have Cyberpunk getting an anime, which I'm really, really excited about this. But it does come out towards the end of September, so it's more like a fall season. But I guess that Netflix is going to do a batch drop, so hopefully this comes out and it does really well. It's being done by Studio Trigger, which is going to be phenomenal, by the way. Studio Trigger always does an amazing job, so I'm really, really hyped for this anime when it comes out. And then, of course, we also have Mappa coming in with Kakegurui Twin. I've always wanted to get into the Kakegurui series, so hopefully before this comes out in August, we will actually be able to sit down and watch Kakegurui. I've always wanted to get into Kakegurui. It's just one of those anime that has always interested me, just with the concept of gambling. So but as I'm looking down, there's really not a lot of anime that is actually coming out that I really want to watch. But we can go ahead and we can hop into the movie area, and there's a lot of good movies coming out this anime season. One of them being, of course, One Piece Film Red. And I'm going to be honest, I've been listening to the soundtrack for One Piece Film Red, and I absolutely adore it. I absolutely adore it. It's such a good soundtrack. Go and check it out if you have not already. This movie is going to do numbers. I already feel it. Especially with Shanks being on the cover. It's going to definitely sell really well. This is, of course, being done by Toei and everything, so it's already got a good backing with the fan base. They got a lot of characters coming back. It's going to be like Stampede all over again for sure. Of course, all these films are going to be coming out in Japan, so we aren't going to be seeing them anytime soon. Then we also have the Sword Art Online Progressive movie. Now, I haven't seen the first Progressive movie, but I definitely do want to check it out when it comes out onto the DVDs and everything. So I am really hyped about this set of anime movies, especially because they're going to be coming out towards the fall season for us. So fall is going to be just jam-packed for Western fans. But as I move down, there's really nothing special until we get to the specials category with Dr. Stone Ryusui special, which I am ecstatic about. I'm just, as a Dr. Stone fan, I am excited. I've already finished the manga, so of course I know what happens in the manga, so I'm really glad that they're giving Ryusui some sort of, I guess, canon storyline to where he can actually have more character development. For him, there really wasn't much, I guess, character development throughout the story, so I'm really, really glad that they're giving him a whole, I guess, episode just to focus on him and what he does. Maybe we'll get another teaser for season 3 because season 3 is going to pop off. The last season really didn't do that well for me, in my opinion. I watched it and I just was like, yeah, y'all adapted this kind of poorly. So I definitely hope that this does Ryusui some justice. So yeah, and that comes out on July 10th for us as well. So but I think that's going to do everything for today's video. If you guys have not already, go ahead and smash that like button down below. And don't forget to click subscribe with notifications on. And leave a comment on what you are actually going to be watching this anime season. And without further ado, I'm Foul Plays, and I'm out. Peace.